Welcome to the Yorkshire Dales, looking absolutely stunning on this last weekend in September. The perfect weather for doing a three-peak cyclocross race tomorrow, which I've entered. Should I have entered this race? You'll find out in the video, so keep watching to see how I get on. The first time I've done it before, a little bit nervous, but looking forward to it, excited. I'm going to try and give you a little taste of the race behind the scenes and from the handlebars. So yes, I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you, pal. That's cool.
Advice on surviving 3 peaks. Steady on the downhill. Try and keep with the front lads at the start. It becomes a bit of a procession. So you up the climb, a bit of a procession. So just try and edge your way past if you possibly can. Just save a bit for pen again because it does go on a bit.
Okay.
I mean, I'm on here 350.
Yeah.
I'm not on the top.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, just survival was my main.
Yes.
And get around having clean.
Be careful at the top of Whernside.
Yeah.
Coming down the real steep bits.
Okay.
Top lads are riding. I jump off and run.
Oh really? Okay.
And there's some flagstones coming down off Whernside with really sharp drainage ditches.
Okay.
So you have to jump them, or you have to jump off.
Okay.
Because you don't want to puncture.
No, you don't want tyres. Tubeless and rock hard, all the pressure. Yeah.
2, 1, go!
Cyclocross challenge, first massive climb done, absolutely horrendous. My calf must have felt like it explode when walking up a near vertical grassy bank with a bike on my shoulder. And it's windy and cold and wet, and now I'm riding through really rough, tufty grass and into the cloud. So much harder than I thought it would be. About 30 kilometres into it so far, onto the second big climb. As you can see, it goes on for a fair way. My back is killing me. I wasn't prepared for how tough this would be. Don't know what happened there. Take it. Yeah, crash. Nothing quite prepared me for how tough it is. Steepness is great.
Podium position.
Well, that was tough going. 7-8 minutes of my 3-peak cyclocross experience. The first time I've done it, maybe the last time I'm ever going to do it. That was quite an experience. Everybody told me it was tough, one of the hardest things you can do on a bike, and I think they undersold it. It was way tougher than I prepared for. The toughest part of it was the first big climb, really steep, 40-45% gradient in places. You've got a bike on your shoulder and you're using your left hand to sort of clamber your way up this really steep slope. I wasn't prepared for that. I don't really know the Yorkshire Dales that well. I've never done the 3 peaks on foot, so I didn't have the experience of knowing how steep and challenging the terrain would be, and it was a shock to the system, and no amount of preparation I don't think would have prepared me for that really. I really struggled with the climbs. Whernside was like I said, a shock to the system, so steep. Even the second one, Ingleborough, was just a slog. I really struggled with my back. I had a back problem back in July, and I really struggled with just immense pain in my lower back every time I had a bike on my shoulder because you crouch over, trying to kind of put one foot in front of the other up these really steep slopes. Even coming back down the other side of the mountains was just as tough. In places, unrideable, especially on a cyclocross bike with 35mm tyres and drop handlebars, putting you in that low position. Where you could ride it, it was rough and you're just being shaken around, and just getting an arm pump on a cyclocross bike is something I've never experienced before. So that was interesting going. So yeah, really tough on the body in places where you don't normally experience pain and aches and stuff. My shoulder is sore, my back really hurts, my ankles hurt from the walking up the steep slopes. Carbon fibre race shoes, bad choice. I saw people with like flexible sort of trail mountain bike shoes. I think that would be a much better choice than my super stiff carbon race shoes. I said in my preview video that I want to have a clean ride. I didn't want to have any punctures or mechanicals or crashes to ruin my day. And as that video showed, I had a puncture, I had a crash. But I guess it adds to the experience and it adds to the memories, and I got full value for money by getting a puncture and a crash. So I had a puncture coming off the top of Whernside. I was warned that there's a really sharp slabs, and I've been really careful, but I think I was overtaking somebody and I wasn't taking the best line choice because I was overtaking somebody, maybe getting not carried away, but trying to make up time on the bits where I could ride a bike because I felt strong on the bike when I'm pedaling, and I got quite good mountain bike skills for descending, so I tried to make up time, but I lost on the really slow ascent with a bike on my shoulder. And as you know, I sweated and worried about tyre choice, and I went with the WTB Crossboss tyres, really popular choice as it turns out. 35mm wide, nice chunky tread pattern, tubeless with low sealant in there, and had 50 psi in the front and 55 psi in the rear. Even with that setup, I slashed the sidewall on the front tyre, and the tubeless sealant wasn't quite able to plug the hole. So in the end, I took the tyre off, put an inner tube in there, sealant mess everywhere, used a CO2 canister and popped the tyre back up, and I was good for the rest of the ride. So a little bit annoying, I was just getting into the flow of it after kind of struggling up this climb for 45 minutes, and took the wind out of my sails a little bit. And then I had a crash right at the bottom of the hill. There's a really fast, gravelly double track bit, and I was approaching a river crossing, and the people ahead of me were dismounting to go over it because it's quite a rocky river crossing. And as I approached, I was braking, I swung my leg over to dismount, cyclocross style, and as I touched my foot down, for some reason, I don't know why, the bike flipped up on the front wheel, and I basically hit the deck with my face and slid into the bike in front of me, and just a tangle of bikes and bodies. Got quite a sore knee and a massive lump on my shin, which I showed you in the video a little bit earlier. And that crash, combined with a puncture just half an hour before, really took the wind out of my sails and really sort of made me realise that this event requires you to have absolute concentration at all times. And I saw loads of crashes, I saw loads of punctures, and the tiredness that you get from this event and the physical challenge of it meant that mistakes were easy to happen. I crashed on a relatively easy section. I saw people crashing on the really tougher bits, and it just goes to show that a temporary lapse of concentration can have you down and out. So it's an event that takes no prisoners. You really have to be on your on alert all the time to make sure you don't have any mistakes or mechanicals or punctures or crashes. So yeah, not an easy event at all. So with all that said, I survived. I got through. I finished in a time of 4 hours and 5 minutes. I probably lost about 30-35 minutes with the puncture and the crash. But even so, the fastest guys did it in just under 3 hours, 2 hours 56 minutes I think was the fastest time. So even without my crash mechanical, I was nowhere near the leaders, which I wasn't expecting to be. But the time to the fastest guys and women was just insane really, and just shows how fast they must be running up the bits where I was traipsing up really, and just beggars belief that people can go that fast up 3 massive peaks and come down just as fast as well. But I'm glad to have done it. It's what I've wanted to do for a long time, been on my bucket list. I'm glad I've done it. I haven't quite got a t-shirt, but I have, got the memories and souvenirs on my leg, a few new scars to add to the collection. Did I enjoy it? Was it fun? Well, I'm going to be honest and say no. I really suffered. I really suffered my lower back particularly. I had to really push through the pain barrier, really had to kind of dig deep to get up the 3 peaks. I enjoyed the bits where I was on the bike and pedalling and doing a technical descents. That was good fun. But in the moment, it was just really hard going. And maybe I'm just not cut out for basically being a fell runner, which you need that fell running skill set to be able to get up the 3 peaks. So my takeaway from the 3 Peaks Cyclocross Challenge, I didn't enjoy it at the time. I enjoyed finishing it, having survived it, having gotten through and really suffered along the way with my lower back, and I enjoyed the bits where I was on the bike and pedalling. I love the atmosphere of the event. There's loads of people out walking and cheering us on, and it really felt like you're doing something a bit crazy, a bit unique, a bit special. And I can see why it's popular now. I can see why people go back to it year after year, because it is a typical British madness event, really. It shouldn't make any sense on paper, and it doesn't really, but it's just a ridiculous event, and it is a bit crazy. And I think that's why it's so popular, because it is crazy. Because there's no fun in carrying a bike up a massive steep mountain, really. But people love it and go back every year. And I recommend you do it. If you haven't done it before, I think you should definitely do it. It's definitely an event you should do at least once, just to say you've done it, to experience it, and it definitely puts all other events into context in terms of how tough, how much you can suffer, how hardcore it really is. But I'm not sure if I would get going back next year. Maybe a few more days and weeks of letting it sink in, I might change my mind. But at the moment, I'm quite happy to have done it once and once only. So that was my 3-peak cyclocross experience, and what an experience it was. One I won't forget for a long, long time. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. If you've got any questions, or if you were riding a 3-peak, do feel free to put them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you and how you got on and if you've done it before. But as ever, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.